I love to talk about neuroplasticity, and I've been rereading a book by Trevor Blake published back in 2012 where he brings in new evidence for neuroplasticity and talks about what he calls 3 simple steps to improving your success in business and in life. But neuroplasticity is all about this concept of the brain being able to rewire itself, if you like. And back in the 1980s, so not that long ago, we were still thinking that the brain very much was fixed by the time we reached adulthood. When we'd really stopped developing around about, ages 21, 22, 23, then our brain was fixed as well. However, now we know through lots of, neuroscience and research that's been done that there is this thing called neuroplasticity. So this idea that, we may be able to rewire our brains. And if we can reshape our brain, then we can reshape our life as well. And that's the really exciting bit about neuroplasticity. So what I'd like to do is draw on things that Trevor Blake has written, because I think these are excellent tips on how you can harness this neuroplasticity and have a permanent positive effect on your life. So the 6 rules that he's come up with here, and I'm just going to go through them briefly so that you can start incorporating them into your life. So the first thing is control your environment. If you immerse yourself in negative situations, now that can be anything from listening to news that is particularly negative, surrounding yourself with people that are negative at work. So maybe, by the water cooler or having a coffee, if you're actually next to the moaning Minnie who's always got something cynical or critical to say about what's happening in the world, it can have a negative effect on you. So the first thing you can do and take control of is your environment. You don't actually have to listen to all the negative news that is on the radio and channeled through the internet and the news stations and things like that. You can switch it off and choose to do something more positive. So remove all sources that are negative. That's the first thing. The second thing is resist the urge to use self-defeating language. So the example that Trevor Blake gives is when somebody might say to you, "Oh, you look a bit tired." Well, instead of going, "Yeah, actually I feel tired, I feel awful, and I'm not very well," and things like that, that only reinforces that negativity. He says resist that urge, actually rise to the challenge, be positive, and go, "Yeah, I feel a bit tired, but I know that's just because I haven't slept well recently, and actually I'm feeling pretty good in other ways," and sort of big it up, if you like, and play down the use of negative or self-defeating language. The third thing he says is begin and end all communications positively. And I find this really interesting because we use so much electronic media nowadays, mobile devices, and it's email or it's messaging or things like that. And it's easy to misconstrue the tone of those things. So he says always try and begin things on an up, end things on an up. So end up saying things like cheers, all the best, keep smiling. On a similar light, the fourth point he makes is to begin and end your day positively. So when you're going to bed, at the end of the day, remind yourself of something positive that's happened that you felt good about. And it need only be something really small, as long as you actively do it. But also when you get up in the morning, be really positive, get out of bed and go, I'm looking forward to today. It's going to be successful. Lots of opportunities are out there for me. And I'm going to just, grasp as many opportunities as I can get. And I'm really looking forward to what this day can hold for me. I love the 5th one. I think this is really powerful. And that's use superlatives. Use the words fantastic, great, super, awesome. Use as many superlatives as you can think in your everyday speech. It again reinforces those positive centers. It really feeds into this whole idea of rewiring your brain in a very positive way. And it's contagious. You will find people will respond much more positively around you as well. And finally, Trevor Blake talks about this idea of thinking bigger than you actually want. So if you've got an aim, let's say it could be in your business life or in your home life, your personal life, whatever it is, try to expand it, try and make it bigger than it is. The example that Trevor Blake gives is, if you've got one client or you need to get one more new client that month, well, that's your core objective, but think bigger than that. Think about getting, your intentions higher. So maybe say, well, it would be, I'm going to get that one client, but wouldn't it be great if I could get an extra 4 and make it 5 clients? Because then you're triggering several positive psychological benefits. You're being more creative, you daydream, you're using your imagination, and again, that all feeds into these positive neural networks. The research also says that you can make a permanent positive new neural connection or neural pathways. You can strengthen them within 4 to 8 weeks. So it's actually really fast as well. It's got everything that's positive about it. It ties into positive psychology and this whole idea of being optimistic and really looking forward to the future. I highly recommend you try this. See you next time.